discussion and a place to talk about something very interesting today. So, what are we discussing today? So, it's the third day of Book Nook, unfortunately, the last day, and we are here to discuss probably the most interesting and the coolest topic, the hippest topic, and conspiracy theories. Who doesn't love them? If you say you love them, you're right. If you say you don't, you're probably lying because who doesn't like a little bit of a mirch masala in their life? So, I'm Anishi Mitra, and I'm here with
Hi, I'm Jasmine.
we're here to take you through this journey or this discussion about conspiracy theories, get to know you people inside out, and figure out where are we all in this conspiracy theory situation. So, Jyotsna, you can take over.
Okay, so before we start our super interesting discussion, there are a few guidelines that all participants have to adhere to. The participants must maintain decorum at all times and respect the person who is putting their point forth. Participants must remember that this is a discussion and there are bound to be differences in opinions, but these need to be addressed in a very respectful manner. Any sort of vulgarity, profanity, any comments that are racist, sexist, or demeaning in any way will not be tolerated. Participants must remember that the sentiments of the people have to be kept in mind on the panel when they're advancing their opinions.
Well, thanks to Jyotsna. Now that we know we're on the same ground, considering the fact that it is a heated discussion per se, considering its conspiracy theories, let's just ensure that we follow all this. But let's dive into this topic. So, my first question to everyone here is, to you, what makes a good conspiracy theory? Like, what is to let me start. I'll do the honors of starting. So I'll start and then you guys can follow. So I think a good conspiracy theory is a one which has this good balance between evidence and then at the same time being a little bit out there so that you can like question why it is. Kanwar, do you have any opinion on this?
Guys, you gotta turn your videos on. I don't wanna stay here 2 hours looking at my co-host here. I mean, she has a pretty face, but no offense. I just want to see more people.
Yeah, because it is a very interesting topic, and considering the fact that it is something that is so out there, we can actually have like a big discussion on this. So, if you have any opinion about what makes a good conspiracy theory, please do come forward. It would be amazing. Well, while others are still taking their time, Jyotsna, do you have any ideas?
Okay. Um, See, I got into conspiracy theories because of Shane Dawson. I don't know if anybody would relate to me with that, because he is kind of controversial right now. But yeah, that's how I got into conspiracy theories. And I just think, I feel like anything can be a conspiracy theory because if you don't know the answer to something, it's practically a conspiracy theory, right? When your mom tells you that the t shirt is in the cupboard and you don't find it, that's a conspiracy theory, in my opinion, right?
I would agree.
So,
I would agree.
yeah, so anything that doesn't make sense or anything that doesn't have a definite answer, I think that is a conspiracy theory in its own.
Yeah, yeah, that is, I actually agree with that. Considering the fact that, especially in the current day and world, everything is so like real and intense to us, I feel like we need those kinds of pockets of out there ideas so we can actually get out and, learn things. Khushbu, do you have any opinions on this? I hope I'm audible to everyone because,
Right, guys?
yeah, I
Okay, at least
guys,
unmute and introduce yourselves. We can
yeah,
start with that.
if you feel like, switch on your cameras, get in the conversation, let's talk about it.
Guys. Okay, Kunwar, do you want to turn on your camera and tell us a random conspiracy theory that you know about?
Anything, it could be the most out there, probably could be your own, but we would love to learn anything just in general. So yeah, go for it.
According to me, I like the conspiracy theory that we never went to the moon.
Ooh,
Yeah.
Good
that is
one.
really good. Okay, again, I'm sorry to keep pestering you, but can you please turn your camera on? I'm literally sounding so desperate at this point, but please. I want to have
Yes,
a cool discussion.
we want to see those expressions when we hear those evidences and go like,
Yeah.
whoa, how did that happen?
Yeah, I don't want this to be like an online lecture, when we're just talking and you're probably watching
And
YouTube.
if you like the conspiracy theory, tell us why. And are you against it? Are you for it? Give us the details. Hi! Woohoo!
We got one.
Yes, success. Yeah, we are very excited.
The moon landing being fake.
Yeah, it's a
Okay.
conspiracy theory, but according to me, it's true. We did went on moon.
You think we did go on the moon?
Yeah,
So
Okay.
like for America, right? You mean like the first landing that happened, the Neil Armstrong thing? That's like the
yeah,
first
yeah.
one. Yeah. Okay. So wait.
He was
Now
the
that
first
you
man on moon.
okay, so now that you brought it up, it's my duty, I feel, to contradict it. So I'm gonna do that. So okay, so you're saying it's true, but I know you must have heard all the stories, like the flag is moving and all that stuff. How is it possible if it's in space? Again, I'm not a
Yes,
science student,
the flag
but if
one.
What?
yes, yeah, go ahead, Khushbu, tell us. Switch on your
Turn
camera.
on your camera and tell us.
Yes.
Um, I'll just speak. It's like the flag one that how can it sway because it's in space,
Yeah.
and also like the light is coming from the opposite direction, but in space there's only sun, so like there's only one place from where light could come, and they are saying it's coming from some different direction too. So even that, and I'm thinking about more that I know, so I'll get back.
Okay.
So okay, I have a question. Khushbu, so you're for the theory that the moon landing was fake?
Yes, I think it was fake. And they all
Oh.
made it up in some studio and just to manipulate us. That's it.
Kanwar, what is your opinion on this?
No, I don't think it was fake. I mean, there are plenty records, and there are current photos that the U.S. flag, which was on the moon, has turned white due to radiation. And the second thing is Neil Armstrong's step is still there, and people mostly think that it is fake because of the photos. Yeah, they are available in high resolution, and people think that how it can't be true. And according to me, I mean, the real photos were taken 50 years ago. So at that time, cameras were not that good. So the most photos available on internet are fake, but the landing was a true one.
Oh, so okay, so you feel like the whole incident was true, but like how it's been made up is
Yeah,
somewhere fabricated. Interesting. I never thought of it that way.
because the photos available on internet are available in high resolution, and 50 years ago cameras were not that good. So according to me,
Okay, wait. Just to give context to the people who don't know what we're talking about, there is a theory where so we all know that America was the first country to land on the moon, right? Neil Armstrong, the whole thing. One big step for man. I'm sorry, I messed that up.
One big
Whatever.
step for man, one step for man, or one big step for
Okay, which let me
humanity.
not be hard.
one
But
step for a man, a giant leap for mankind.
Yes,
yeah. Oh my God.
that's
Yes.
that one. Thank you.
Yeah, so that whole landing, it is said that it is fake because America was kind of a country that wanted to like do things first and wanted to be first in doing some new things. So they say that America probably faked it because at that time the technology wasn't available
I
and
guess the economy was crashing really bad around that time.
yeah,
No.
Yes. Oh,
The
tell us.
reason why it's considered to be fake because at that time America and Russia were in between a cold war.
Cold War. Yes, this is a very
Yeah,
good
right.
point because back then I feel like everything that any of the countries did was like outdo each other,
Yeah,
and that
they were
became like a
competing with
big
each
thing.
other because Russia was the first country to go into space. Yuri Gagarin.
yeah.
Yuri
Yeah,
Gagarin. Yep, yep.
but the Neil Armstrong was the first one to land on moon, step on moon.
Do you think America would go that far to like do it,
Yeah.
like to prove
America
Yeah,
that
is
it
like the
totally
most
would.
extra country I've ever seen.
America is pretty extra? I would. Yeah, Khushbu, tell us. Yeah, Khushbu is back. Khushbu, now you have to tell us how extra America is. We need to know it from you because,
It's
like
yeah, I mean, when you think of America, it's believable that America can do something like this. They have the resources and they have, and because like every country thinks of them as like the developed one, it's easier to believe that yeah, like they must have gone. कि हाँ उनने किया रहेगा landing or something. It's I don't know, for some reason it's quite believable that they must have done it. So maybe for that reason.
I feel like
Shashank,
that
what do you
is,
think? Wait,
yeah,
I think
Shashank.
he unmuted himself. Honey.
Yes, yes. I also think that America didn't fake the landings
Ooh.
because the America was very capable of doing all these things. Although they couldn't reach in space first, but the Apollo mission about the moon landings was real. And the people who say that it is fake mostly rely on the photographs. Like, why isn't there are any stars when the photos were taken?
So
And who was clicking the photos?
the
Like this
photograph is
type
a
of
very significant thing. That's what I'm getting from this.
Yeah.
I think that was the
That's the
proof that they
that was
actually
the
did that.
yeah.
But then, okay, if that's the proof, then that's the weird thing, right? That is the proof at the same time as the evidence that it's not
Yeah.
real.
No, okay. I'll tell you about the photographs thing.
and one more thing.
Yeah, go ahead.
Yes. Okay, one more thing was that when they planted the the US flag was hosting, like it was straight and
Waving.
hosting, yeah, waving. So people argued that how is it possible? There's no atmosphere in the moon.
Yeah.
But NASA actually उन्होंने एक स्टिक लगाई थी ऊपर और नीचे, जिसके कारण वो ऐसे फ्लैग खड़ा हुआ था. तो उन्होंने प्रॉपर सारे एविडेंस दिखाए कि ये मून लैंडिंग रियल थी. अब कॉन्स्पिरेसी थ्योरिस्ट का कहना ही है
Even
कि
if they
fake है
hadn't
तो
shown
क्या
us
कर
the
सकते
picture,
हैं.
we would have believed them. But they showed us the picture, and now we're like,
Oh,
no.
now we're questioning.
That's
I
the
feel,
thing, right?
I feel like
So-
that happens. Yeah, go ahead, Joseph. Go ahead.
Yeah, so the thing is that it was televised, which is again going back to my point of America being extra. It was televised, it was photographed. They made sure everybody knew that this was happening. And
I feel like it kind of
They
became
were
a
showing
vicious.
off.
Yeah,
it
it
almost
kind of
feels
became
like-
a vicious cycle for them. They were like, "Humne ye kiya hai, look how cool we are." But then people are like, "No, no, 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 hold
You
on,
did.
no,
You didn't.
you did, and something's up. You can't do so much so fast." And that's one thing about conspiracy theories. Like when the time comes, like when it's actually happening, nobody questions is then. Like 20 years down the line, people are like, "Ek second, there's something off." It's
Yeah.
something. Kamya, what's your opinion on this? You just
Yeah, so-
joined in. Welcome. Hello.
we're talking about the moon landing being fake.
Yes, we are doing that. I hope we are audible to Kamya. Okay, take your
She
time.
turned her video on and then she turned it off, and then I got a little sad because
Kamya is hurt. We call America too extra. We call them too jazzy for her benefits. But like,
are there
okay,
America supporters.
good point that we came to America, because this we could like segue into another conspiracy theory, a very recent conspiracy theory, in fact, about COVID-19.
Oh no.
Yeah, oh no is the correct reaction to COVID-19. But about it, is it like a biological warfare or is it like the normal virus? Like, did China do it intentionally? That's a big question. Opinions, guys.
About this, okay, so hi everyone, I'm 20 minutes late. I'm
all-
Kamya, and I just want about COVID. There came a point last year when I was like, I am done with this. I don't think this is real because Trump said so, and I didn't want to believe it. But people were, the people that we actually see on a status, like the stats, are actually real people who are being affected. But what Anishi said, about whether it was a biological warfare, when I was researching, I realized that China, I think in 3 months in it, they had an up towards managing the pandemic. They knew it since October, roughly, when it was and it wasn't declared a pandemic until in March. And China's growth rate actually was increased by roughly 3.7% and was up this to its normal growth rate pre-pandemic. That is the only country who's able to achieve that.
That's an interesting. I think personally, to me, whenever China comes up, it's just stirring a pot. It's just stirring a pot of drama. I swear.
Okay.
Guys.
I want to like differentiate one thing here. I think years ago I was talking to someone and they said that the problem we all have as India and even as the world is with Chinese leadership, and sometimes we fail to separate that and have that kind of prejudice with certain notions or a culture in total. But yeah, the leadership is a big problem, which we'll all have to agree with.
Definitely. That definitely. That's because I think when the whole concept of biological warfare has come up, like there have been diseases that have happened in multiple countries which have been pretty bad. But when this has come up, and it's questioning the authority of the country itself, like biological warfare is like a big thought. So like if you're doing that, it comes from authority. But the question is COVID-19 just like a generic? This is not even like a normal question to ask. This is just my dad's WhatsApp forward probably. So like is COVID-19 like just a generic cough and cold that people are hyping about? Genuine question. Genuine.
Yeah,
Okay.
according to me, before coronavirus reaching India, we were probably seeing many videos coming from China, and they were like vomiting blood, dying, and all those stuff, and fainting in middle street. But the truth is that coronavirus is not that deadly. I mean, you can clearly look the death toll in India. Only a handful of people have died because of this.
the
Thank you.
mortality the mortality rate is lesser than others. I feel like because it has happened of a time with such political changes in every part of the world, that has given a transition into it just not being a virus, but it's beyond a virus now. It's politics is involved, economics are involved, and that is what really gets me. Like when you see China's situation, if it's actually biological warfare, I mean, I don't know. Shashank, what's your opinion? Give us your opinion.
I think that whenever the pandemic like this comes, people always focus on the mortality. People never focus on how infectious the disease is. Considering the smallpox pandemic, smallpox pandemic was mortality rate was around 30%. So around in every 100 persons, 30 people are dying. But in the case of COVID-19, there was only 2% of mortality rates. But this doesn't इससे ये साबित नहीं होता कि COVID-19 एक कोई बहुत बड़ा पैंडेमिक नहीं है. It's a respiratory disease that directly attacks in your lungs, and it is very infectious. And coming to the part of China, I think China कर सकता है यार ऐसा, लेकिन because China is currently generating mutated soldiers. Like they are playing with the DNA of soldiers to make strong soldiers like Captain America. If you can see the BBC report also.
Wait, I
That's
don't
what I
know
think.
about this. I don't know about this. I need details.
Yeah, I got also
Uh,
example when when SARS was released from in China. Okay, there was a handful of cases in China, but when it spread throughout the world, the number of cases were blasted. So whenever some virus comes from China, only a handful of people get affected in China, but around the world it goes really bad. So I think so. It's a biological weapon.
Oh my God. That is, I would, it is not beyond China. I do agree with that. It is not beyond China to actually do something because they, again, as the same point as the US, they have the power to do so. They have the material, the power, the sources, the population to do so. So
well, I don't think that it's a weapon. It's just a carefulness and उनकी लापरवाही थी. That's what I think. And that
According to me, their main aim was not to kill people. The main aim was to, put a break on other countries' economy.
In the next 5 years, US dollar is going to lose, as you know, from an economic perspective, US dollar is going to lose its luster. It's the Chinese yen, which everyone's going to trade in. So, yeah, I mean, if we think about, China taking subtle steps, China has been known in like international politics to have something known as a debt trap diplomacy. So they basically give loans to developing countries, and then they gather interest on that, and then they bully them in their internal matters or their internal politics. This happened with Pakistan last year. Then,
Sri Lanka also.
yeah, Pakistan, Philippines, Thailand, name any. It's happening in Asia mostly because China is, dekho, US does not have that much influence here, especially in Asia. Probably it because it's always on hunches with Russia, but it doesn't really have that. US does their thing in the Middle East. So China has this area, and that's what they're trying to do. And I feel COVID was COVID was like the reverse Uno they had, which no one anticipated, and
Imagine they're sitting at a table and they're like, okay, we
yeah,
give you this, and they're like,
yeah,
COVID.
Bam, bam.
reverse Uno, and nobody knew. And I think everyone was like, okay, there is this thing. It's kind of going to be like Ebola coming in, because India managed Ebola very well. Let me tell you, it did. It
Hmm.
did commendably well. And yeah, but COVID was just out of proportion. And now there are two more strains, one from UK, one from South Africa. So yeah, to another year of staying at home.
Yeah, I mean, more the merrier, right? More the merrier. Now we have just so much stuff to deal with. But
The,
yeah,
yeah. The
Okay,
initial COVID
COVID.
has a brother now, brother and sister hanging
Yeah,
out.
we have a
that's
happy
good
family
actually.
now.
That's a good thing
Personally,
humans
I
did.
have a very different take on what happened with COVID. So I think that China did intend to release it, but not at the point that it got released. Because I think the worst affected to start with was China. I
China.
think it was very accidental. They didn't intend to do that at that point of time, but they did it. And I mean, now we're all here.
So according to you, it was like mistimed biological warfare, like a wrong
Yes,
missile kind of situation.
yes.
Interesting.
Wait,
Missile
okay.
that was supposed to go off, but it went off at the wrong time.
Okay, so once again, before we continue this discussion, I hope you guys realize that we're talking about countries that have millions of people, and it's not like some Monopoly game where they're like, "Oh, I'll do this. Oh shit, I messed up here." It's a little bit more than that. Okay.
During this
But
thing,
But isn't
has
that how
anyone
they treat
watched?
us?
Oh, sorry.
Oh, another conspiracy theory.
I want to talk about this documentary. Has anyone watched The Social Network?
yes, I have.
A lot of people have. Okay, so with that respect, I think one thing I did not, I knew most of it what was on there, but one thing that I didn't realize was that how what we choose to filter in our social media is actually a bigger institution at play, determining what we are seeing in terms of politics, in terms of our own biases.
Um,
So I feel this propagated a lot of fake news and even government filtering during COVID-19. I am telling you, the statistics of deaths is more than it is. I am telling you at
Oh
hand.
yeah, I think so too.
It is
I,
yeah.
I feel like whenever you have a situation like this, it's kind of this odd balance that a country has to maintain, because if you give your rates too high, your country is going to freak out. So they will try to pull it down. Okay, obviously, that's a normal tactic for a country to follow. Makes sense. You don't want your population to freak out. But the question is, how much can you censor it? How much does the government, choose to decide the numbers and choose to moderate the numbers? And that is a big question that comes up. So according to you guys, how much do you think a country should be able to, a country or a state should be able to control the numbers of a pandemic? Like literally you could suffer from it, your family could suffer from it. How much power should the government have in that situation?
Well, in democratic country, I don't think you can really censor it,
But they
because
did, no?
no, क्या
That's
है
the
कि डेमोक्रेटिक कंट्रीज में ऐसा कर पाना बहुत मुश्किल होता है, क्योंकि उनका जो मैकेनिज्म्स रहते हैं, you cannot hide it, you cannot censor it very easily. Although there can be, you can almost censor around 1 lakh 2 lakh cases, but not more than that.
Acha, I'll add to his point. Very great point. So we don't have data. We did not have data for migrant workers. The fact that we can censor it in this way कि हमारे पास तो data ही नहीं है, तो हमको पता ही नहीं कितने मरे, है ना? This is the best way of censoring, or making
और
public not
दूसरी
know.
और दूसरी चीज है कि पता लगाने की कोरोना वायरस से डेथ हुए या फिर और कोई रीजन से, ये भी टफ चीज है। कि अगर हार्ट अटैक आता है तो हम लोग ये नहीं बोल सकते ना कि ये कोरोना वायरस की वजह से हुआ है, कि कोई ऑलरेडी वो आदमी हार्ट डिजीज से सफर कर रहा हो,
This
ऐसे भी
is
हो सकता है।
a big problem that happened now, because many labs were actually faking reports to make it corona so that they could earn profits from it. So like I know someone personally whose family, someone was suffering from a very normal disorder, like a very normal cold and cough kind of situation, but you wouldn't pay like 1 lakh to fix a cold and cough. But like you will pay like around a 1 lakh up price to fix corona. And there are many labs which are like showing COVID positive just to earn money from that.
Yeah,
Which is
that's another problem, how they've like monetized this entire pandemic. And it's like if you go to the it's now it's just like if you go to the doctor, you're scared that Even if you go for a cough or cold, they'll just diagnose you with corona, and then you will have to go through the entire process, right?
There's another theory in place, like this was something my father and I were discussing. So it's actually not substantial proof on it, but uh, it's kind of like the word of mouth backhanded proof, which mostly is true. So what's happening now is that there's a black organ market in place, everyone knows. But because of COVID deaths, so COVID deaths ऐसा होता है कि your family cannot see you. They're going to wrap you up in something and they're going to bury you. And these are the hospital workers itself, or some sort of third party funeral service themselves. No last rites, nothing. You cannot see your family. So they take out the organs and they're sold in the black market. Nobody knows what happened. Nobody knows what went out. So yeah, I'm not trying to scare anyone, but
It's
this is a
okay.
potential stuff.
Life is scary enough.
Yeah, I kind of
I
just
think that was a bit fake, not fully, but a bit
Okay,
fake.
right.
Don't get offended.
It's okay, it's okay. It happens, but what I'm saying. Not everywhere, but yeah.
No, give more opinions. The more the merrier. Go ahead.
What I think that the situation that Kamya talked about was flourishing in pandemic, like in the month of August, September or July. ये तब ये हो सकता था, लेकिन if you to look at the current situation, मैं एक सिंपल एग्जांपल देता हूँ कि अभी मेरे पड़ोसी के यहाँ ऐसा हुआ, कोविड से डेथ हुई, लेकिन वहां पे फ्यूनरल में जाने को अलाउ था. अराउंड 20 to 25 people can go in funerals.
But you don't see
with
the body.
proper
The body is wrapped. You don't see the body. You don't open it.
Yes,
That
yes.
is healthcare protocol.
Yes, you cannot see the body, but फ्यूनरल में जा सकते हैं.
हाँ, जाओ.
15 से 20 लोग लेके
मना नहीं
कलेक्टर
है.
की परमिशन से.
मैं ये कह रही हूँ कि बॉडी को कोई खोल के नहीं देखेगा ना. तुम्हारा पोस्टमार्टम यही बोलेगा यू आर डिक्लेयर्ड डेड ऑफ कोविड. ठीक है. हॉस्पिटल के मॉर्ग से तुम्हारे कब्र तक तुम पूरे रैप्ड हो. तुम्हें तुम्हारी बीवी, तुम्हारे बच्चे, तुम्हें कोई देखने नहीं वाला. यू हैव नो आइडिया कि तुम्हारा दिल खाली है, कि तुम्हारा योर लिवर हैज बीन टेकन आउट. और आई एम सॉरी, आई एम सच अ टेरेबल पर्सन, बट yeah, you know, black market, organ black market is the biggest thing you can have on torrent. The dark web.
That is a good segue. I appreciate Kamya brought that up, because let us talk about the dark web.
My sister has like asked me, because she's a computer person, like engineer. She's like, don't go on the dark web just for the sake of it, or just for anything.
So
don't try.
To simplify it, like the simplest way possible is how I learned it. So this is how I would explain to everyone else. So if you have an iceberg, a big iceberg, the tip of the iceberg is the internet we use, and the rest entire thing under the water is your dark web, because it makes sense. Whatever access you have to the internet is very superficial, very surface level. So now I would let's not jump into a single topic. Let's just first get like a general, because there's a lot to cover in this. All of this it's very Quentin Tarantino, very graphic. So let's just try to keep it as PG-13 as possible, because Josna just set the guidelines. Let's not waste Josna's work here. So let's keep it as PG-13 as possible. But like overview, what is your thoughts about the dark web?
Wait, I want Kunvar to go first because he muted himself and switched off his video.
And if you're going to the dark web, at least just tell us. Okay, we'll be mentally prepared that you're doing a higher level
good,
research.
But you gotta tell us.
Yeah.
Oh, I think he got lost in the dark web too.
So okay, let someone else start. I'm pretty sure he'll follow.
Yeah, I think dark web, I just got to know ki, okay, like I think 2 years back roughly, I was in 11th and I had never heard that. Okay, but I knew that the government is always lying to me. That I know something for sure. If anyone knows Edward Snowden, he was a whistleblower of the CIA. If anyone knows Julian Assange of the WikiLeaks,
Assange.
Yeah. So they are all perpetuators or Andolanjivis, or propagators of free speech, which we very much should support. But when it comes to your own institution lying to you, it hurts on another level. Dark web is mostly a source for is notoriously known for illegal activities. So human trafficking, drug trafficking, kuch chahiye, gun control, everything, you find it there. Anything you want, you have it there, and nobody can track you down. So it is I think even in the UN documents, they have been unable to regulate UN conventions on UN ODC or something. They've unable to control the dark, the cyberspace area, because you don't have like you can't track down your IP address. So everything,
He's
is
back in the
carried out
dark.
here. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah,
Kanwa, you can
Kumar.
go ahead. You can go ahead. Give us your opinions on the dark web.
Dark web, na?
Yes.
You can access dark web only through some certified web stores like Tor. Okay, and no, there is I mean, not everything that happens on dark web is shady. Okay, people go out there to freely download movies or anything, or dark web helps people to maintain their privacy, and they can freely express their views and all those things. But yeah, things like organ exchange happens out there.
Yeah,
But
I
That's
agree
sad.
with Kanwar that
I love how we're laughing about like.
I like
I
how
like
you
how
related this.
I know.
Yeah,
I like how subtle it was. It's like, oh, you can download movies. Also, organs.
Organs.
Just like. Go ahead, Shashank. Tell us.
अच्छा गजनी में भी ऑर्गन रैकेट था. I just want to remind
But
everyone.
Kamya is obsessed, beta. You need to Kamya. You
I am
need to have
fine
a
at
personal.
I'm a
I'm
little
telling you,
concerned at this
I am
point.
a
But she
terrible
knows so
person.
much.
I'm
We
the
need to
same.
do like a book nook, just like so psychology. So the Kamya can sit and just rant whatever she wants to. I feel.
I know obscenely a lot of things, weird things, pata hai. So if
Same.
I am starting to talk about facts, you will hear me talking about this and that and that, and that's just going to be go out of proportion. Yeah, continue. Shashank was saying something. I'm sorry.
what I was saying.
We scared
Same,
Shashank.
literally.
We scared Shashank.
We were at organ भी होता है. उसके बाद
Yeah, we were
फिर
at
complete.
organ bhi hota hai.
Yeah. Now I got that. Darknet people people like us, like normal people, common people, visit darknet for being anonymous. And to put their opinions, to check out what's going on real in the internet. See, the 6% of the internet is surface web, like Google, Microsoft, Amazon, is for 6%, and around 20 to 25% is deep web. Deep web is nothing but where the data of your Aadhaar card, PAN card, all these data are stored, and it is only accessible to the governments. And what उससे जो बचा वो होता है darknet. And you know that जितने भी टेररिस्ट ऑर्गेनाइजेशंस हैं उनको गन्स कहाँ से मिलती हैं, उनको इतने सारे एम्यूनिशंस कहाँ से मिलते हैं? डार्कनेट से. और ये इलीगल भी है लेकिन लीगल भी है, क्योंकि एक तरीके से अमेरिका, नॉर्थ कोरिया, ये सब कंट्रीज क्या करती है? टेररिस्ट फंडिंग करती हैं इस डार्कनेट से ही. तो एक तरीके से लीगल भी है लेकिन इलीगल भी है.
So you feel like all this, the darknet that it exists fundamentally, it is not because people are just going, it's because there's other backing also.
देखो गवर्नमेंट कुछ कोई बड़ा इंस्टीट्यूशन कुछ करे ना, there's nothing wrong. If Amazon does not let its workers unionize, okay, but this same thing happens with your tailors association, people will go on a strike. You're getting this? So if any big institution is backing up something, America is the what can I say, flag bearer of neoliberalism.
And
so
the
is Joe Biden.
darknet was
So
invented by America.
Yeah.
Darknet was invented by America, FBI.
Yes. I did not know that. Thank you for that. So they've been like this. They do stuff in the Middle East, then they blame Islamic radicalism for everything, and it's just a whole loop.
I feel like America has this innate need कि जहाँ पे भी they can line up, बस एक थोड़ा सा नाक घुसा दो, just थोड़ा सा, just like this, let's get this, just poke myself into this. America has this innate need to do that.
Some days I feel अगर मैंने सर पे ज़्यादा तेल लगा लिया तो अमेरिका उसको invade कर लेगा. it's just there's so much
Shade
that they have. Yeah, come on, that was a terrible joke, but okay.
But no, it's true. I agree, because obviously darknet can't just like people like you and me, or like your friends who might be, like if there's some situation like that, someone who wants to buy, let's say, drugs or something like that in a situation, going to darknet is probably the last thing you would think of, because that's like a very radical step for you to actually take. Like that is just somewhere really far off.
And
But yeah, go ahead,
no,
comment.
यहाँ पे I will talk about my finance और उसका थोड़ा कुछ. You said,
Yes,
so yeah, so Anishi put up a very good point that people might not usually go single investors. So we call them like retail investors. So retail investors, you as if I want something, okay, I don't do anything, but if I want something,
Yeah, I believe you.
I will
Totally.
go to the street.
Yeah, Kamya, yeah. Organs,
Yeah.
yes, Kamya. Huh.
Second, third person, I know someone through someone, kind of that thing, because I'm a single investor. But if there are multiple people who want, kind of like running a cartel, kind of like a proper peddler, they might want to use the dark web for the sole reason that it has unimaginable sources.
Yeah, and that makes sense. Yeah, I feel like that is like a higher level. Yeah, so it's like people would rarely go out of their way to actually get involved into something like this. You would probably choose someone who's closer to you, more trustworthy. So at the end of the day, the fact that it exists, it cannot just exist on the fact that there is some kind of this thing that just one person is buying or two people are buying is not possible. It has to be like a large government backing in this situation.
Fun fact, FBI, RAW, ISIS, and most of the secret government agency use dark web.
Yes, they are the only ones who like are very happy about it, I think.
No, news
Fake passport
organizations
चाहिए वहीं से
also.
लेते हैं.
News organization also visit dark web for the scoops they are looking for, the data they need about some around in 2015 or 16, around 90 to 95,000 people's data, Aadhaar card data were leaked in dark web. So people go there, buy those stuff and whatnot they can do in darknet.
Last thing I want is my Aadhaar card picture to be anywhere. This is just bad. I'm not happy with the situation anymore.
I stood in that Aadhaar line for roughly 7 hours before I got my picture cleared, and I was like this.
So that is the biggest conspiracy theory of all time. Okay, I could be looking like amazing one day and then take my Aadhaar picture and I look like someone who ran away from jail somehow. I don't know how that happened.
I don't know. I just want to give a disclaimer that the closest experience I guess I've had to the dark web is, I don't know, go into incognito mode to search something stupid like how many grams is a kilo. And that's all I know about the dark web.
That's a valid doubt. Okay, Jyotsna is a valid doubt.
But I'm so lost.
Acha, I don't know if we can record.
Listen, I was a little
Should
stupid
I
as a kid.
share my experience in the
No.
dark?
Now I know because I searched it up.
Yeah, go ahead.
Wait, are you talking about the grams thing or dark web?
Yeah, Kamya is trying to explain her experience with kilograms and grams.
Is it okay if I share the experience?
Okay,
because if it's like...
No, just try to censor it as much as possible.
So, a friend of mine, I am not very technologically gifted like my sister.
Don't mention about you selling organs.
No. I am not into that trade. I actually, my father pays me to cut his hair. So that is the kind of business I do. If anyone wants barber wali service in the pandemic, please call me.
We're just subtly plugging in her organ business, her hair cutting business, just Kamya on fire today.
I cut my own hair and my father paid me 100 rupees. Like,
cool advertisement.
Very cool advertisement.
Okay, now, now we just start a Kamya fan page.
I have like, I think we were talking about gun control in the US. And she had some browser and she showed it to me. And Amazon actually sells guns. If you log in it from Tor and and then access the dark web. So, and then we were just checking out ki hota kya hai guns. Kuch click, don't click anything in the dark web. No link, police will come to you. Okay, this is a workshop also we had in Jai Hind itself. I forgot who was the one who's conducting it, but he was a computer genius from what I know. Anyone's a computer genius who knows how to use a laptop. So
that's what my parents think.
Yes. So he was basically telling us, he showed us kind of like the dark web starting, but didn't say don't click any, links or don't try to ask for anything. मेरे को फेक पासपोर्ट चाहिए मुझे कल प्लीज मुझे कोई चिकन खिला दो यहाँ पे ये ड्राई स्टेट है यहाँ पे हमें we cannot get alcohol, don't say anything like that. Don't say anything like that. Just see it and come back. It's like window shopping.
I think that what I want to clarify is uh, you cannot simply go in darknet, like type in Google what do you want,
You
like
can't.
that.
You need a
Yeah.
specific browser, and it
Yes,
needs to
yes,
mask your IP address. Yeah,
yes,
Or
yes. Tor browser, with Tor browser you need also some links, like
right.
there are some links. There's a search engine called DuckDuckGo, where
Mhm.
you can go. And what you were talking about the Amazon, that was not particularly Amazon.
A lot of like,
The
yeah,
site's name
we
would be
used it.
Silk
I,
Route.
I don't remember, but it was like Amazon ka logo, so that is what I. Oh,
Silk Route रहा होगा,
Silk Route.
लेकिन properly Amazon
Ironically,
नहीं था.
Chinese hai.
हाँ.
Silk Route is Chinese.
Oh.
Historically,
It just
Silk
comes
Route.
back in a circle. It just comes back in a
hidden
circle,
China.
and yeah, go
No,
ahead, Shank.
the world powers are dominating everywhere. So China is around the second global power that we
How
are
do you all feel about
witnessing.
anarchy? Like lack of public systems and lack of boundaries, no police.
You know, Gandhiji was an anarchist.
Gandhiji wasn't an anarchist.
No, he was.
Bhagat Singh was an anarchist.
Some views were I think कुछ उनके views थे जो anarchist से related थे गांधी जी के.
Probably, yeah. But Bhagat Singh was a hardcore anarchist from what I remember and what I read. But
Yes,
it just because it sometimes it's as someone who's trying to still explore these ideologies, sometimes when I see all this chaos around now, I feel like, why is this happening? Shouldn't like be world be one place, no borders? I can go to, why do I have to have a visa for first thing to go to America?
no, but in this current globalized world,
Mhm.
mm, you can the anarchy is not relevant because
Yeah, I
if
I
a
will be shot in the
country
head probably. Yes, I'm
yes,
understanding
who
your
will
point.
protect from the external threats like terrorism and whatnot?
External threats
There
is
are
so
deadly weapons around the world.
perfect,
There are
Shashank.
deadly
purge देखा
weapons.
किसी ने?
I one thing I want to add to Shashank's point is he said who will protect us from the world. I want to just point out that the terrorists are also us. Like वो भी इंसान ही है at the end of the day, and we are
Purge
all
देखी
man.
है?
Yeah,
Purge.
Purge. Yes, I've seen Purge.
हाँ,
Ooh, yeah.
Very good movie.
उसमें
Purge.
पता
Okay.
चल जाता है.
So if you guys don't know, Purge.
It's and even better than Purge. I'll give you a better example. Joker in itself. The whole purpose is that you see Joker as someone in the movie who is hyped up by people and supported by people and doing something that is technically wrong. It's violent and it's wrong, and it's completely something they shouldn't do. But that's the thing, when you have an organization which is not working, is violence the only way to stop it? Is violence the only way to go forward, and is anarchy and pulling down bourgeoisie, for that matter of fact, the only way to go about it? Or are you supposed to sit down on tables and drink coffee and complain about, oh my god, मेरे country में ये नहीं हो रहा, मेरे country में वो नहीं हो रहा? What is your exact viewpoint on this? I genuinely want to know what the question of this answer.
I would say
अभी
Anishi just defined United Nations, and one thing UN does very well is documentation, and that's the only thing they do well. So,
I
so
swear.
yeah, I mean, it does. I think there's a term revolution which comes in a lot of left-leaning philosophies. So yeah, but sometimes it is necessary because I don't think we as women would have been able to talk here if it weren't for a revolution, in the last century.
I agree. Kanwar, go ahead. You have a point to make.
I was talking like दिल्ली में क्या हुआ? दिल्ली में सब लोग बोल रहे थे कि पीसफुल प्रोटेस्ट करेंगे और जब टाइम आया तो उन्होंने क्या किया? तो वही मैं बोल रहा था, पुलिस और इन्फोर्समेंट होना चाहिए हम लोग.
I would
थोड़ा
differ.
आराम से कन्वर्ट. बहुत ही सेंसिटिव टॉपिक है वो.
Yeah, I
बहुत ही
was
ज्यादा.
gonna say too
I think
political.
we are
Yeah,
all
we will. No,
good
we are
people here,
okay
so we
with.
understand.
Yeah, we are okay with organs. We're not okay with this, guys.
Yeah.
Let's
I
clear
You
it
can
back.
sell organs here, but you can't
I
talk.
understand
No.
what Kanwar is like trying to say, so I'll just differ thoda opinion alag se. So these were like the people for the last 2.5 3 months. If anyone knows Delhi ka cold, it's terrible, and they were mostly older people and were shot with water cannons. And this is not the first time which is happening in Delhi. First protest, Delhi has been a site of protests for years now. Okay, and the
दिल्ली
way
चलो.
the no matlab I'm just going to say it's okay, I'm in my home. So yeah, so the way at least Delhi police treats its protesters is unwarranted, and there needs to be a better mechanism. I will condone, like I will understand some way why the violence happened there. It was out of hand, it shouldn't have happened. But if it needs to be, understood in terms of a gray space, I can make that flexible accommodation for it.
Agreed, I agree. That's a very good, but I'm glad this topic also came up. You're coming to the concept of authority and things like that. I want to bring up another conspiracy theory. Very interesting one, very something that has really stuck around with me because I was like one of the first few things my mom and me had a real conversation about. It's about Princess Diana's death. And was she murdered or not? This is something that is it's very hot right now because they make a movie on it also. So I have a question. What do you think about this? Give me your ideas.
I think it was like a systematic murder, dheere dheere, one by one, strike one
Slow
down,
death.
strike two down. Yeah, slow death, perfect. So I think from what I've read and what I've watched, it was basically she was a different person. Probably her personality didn't fit as well to the traditional ideals of the palace, and she came in with a new set of principles. She stood her own ground. She was probably the first woman who actually propagated for AIDS, people suffering from AIDS, and she was uh, hugging them and she was talking to them. And people used to think at that time that AIDS spreads, via human contact itself, normal human contact. And she broke boundaries. So when we see, from her divorcing Prince Charles, her her going on her own, it was something which didn't paint the royal household in a good light. And the same thing, and the British tabloids were terrible then, the British tabloids are terrible now to Miss Markle, if you can say. And so it also shows
I
how women are always treated.
I like Kamya's that term that came up in the comment, the slow death thing. It's very significant because I'll tell you what, if you actually look up the rules, it's hilarious. Okay. So the rules that the queen has on the like people. So if you're eating, once the queen finishes eating, you have to finish eating. Okay. So if she eats at like the speed my dad eats, you probably never get to eat food in that house. Okay. Because you just can't. Once her plate is down, your plate has to be down. And there are many other rigid rules, like you can't have social media, you have to wear particular outfits. And that to someone like Diana, who was very outgoing, a very social person, it could get very very constructive and like very like you feel like you're stuck in a cage. And death is murder cannot just be classified as something that is I shot someone. It's something, a mental situation is also very significant. You can't just constantly keep cutting a person out of their own life and demeaning them. And it's not demeaning, is not the right term, but kind of slowly just pushing this person into a state that they're not comfortable with, and that really gets to a person. So this whole rigid rules that were put on her by the authority, which what Megan ended up doing is getting out of it, luckily, because she had a supportive husband. She has a supportive husband. Might not have been the same at her time, during Diana's time, and that is something that is pretty intense if you think about it. So I feel like that is my opinion on the whole situation. Because if you look at it from like a very standard view, it just seems like, oh, she got like hit and this thing and that. But there were like a lot of theories that because she was like a royal this thing, the queen was not okay with her because she was a divorcee, and because she was working before this, which is very sad, because it's very funny to me, because I remember thinking when my mom told me, it's like, oh, Indians are supposed to be conservative. Yes, why are people in Britain being so uptight about the whole situation, which is something that's always stuck around with me. So that is my
I would
logic.
also say, I think it just tells us a lot about, the patriarchal, even women can be patriarchal, from what I can
Yes.
say. It's a lot internalized. And I always see, I used to like, okay, I never really read up on Queen Elizabeth, but from what I know, like what I've assessed with the whole Meghan Markle situation is that, that women has a lot of power. Anyone will bow down to her, and it's good for women, but not for the right things which she's doing. So she's going to hit 100 in a few years. Okay, all major events of the world she has lived, major conflicts: India, Pakistan, China, Armenia, Azerbaijan, Israel conflict, the whole Middle East fiasco, US entering everyone, um, women's suffrage, black rights movement. You tell it, she has. Rwandan genocide by the government, Yemeni crisis. She has. She has never entered anywhere. She is all for Commonwealth. She is all for colonizing, taking resources. But when it comes to prevention for conflicts, it is somewhere power shuts up.
I just want to see कि जब the end आएगा तो होता क्या है ब्रिटेन में जब
I'm
उसकी
sorry, I
death
didn't hear you.
I'm waiting for the death of Queen.
It's a very interesting thing to say. Yeah, because the country in itself, it bows down to the queen. That is a supreme authority. It's not just like she's my authority, that's why I this to her. They genuinely have this intense level of affection. Their song goes, Lord save the queen. So I mean that is some very high
बहुत
level
दुआ लगती है
authority.
उन्हें.
बहुत भाई. Itni dua lagti, that's why she's like killing it. Like what she does at her age, like she's walking around like 20 kilometers. Baba, I can't do it. Okay, I can't. I have mad respect for her. I don't know what she eats, but I also need that energy in my life. But like to be of that age and to do all that stuff, and that entire like the British Empire itself is a big conspiracy theory to me. The amount of places that they've been able to cover in the time that they've had in the history of humanity. When you see, they have literally the entire concept of Commonwealth game is that they are all British colonized spaces, which is insane how much Britain have been able to cover the world and actually, go beyond and actually make space. And every place has British influence. You can't avoid it.
Surprisingly, British history does not really talk about colonialism. It talks about colonialism in the way Robinson Crusoe talked about, his island peeps. Oh, they are these little people. They don't know anything. They don't know how to eat with a fork and everything. And so, I mean, Britishers did bring good, but they need to acknowledge their colonial antics with the kids.
Antics, yeah.
There was this one meme I saw the other day was that Britishers, Indians are a lot more in population than the Britishers, right? So basically the museums of Britain are always filled with foreigners. They will never be filled. There is no a single British person won't ever you'll see them hanging around in the museum because the foreigners are looking at their own artifacts.
Yeah, that's a good point.
Yeah,
That's a good point.
Everything they still have the Kohinoor. They won't return it. Our books, our paintings.
Speaking of acknowledging, let's segue into like a very nice conspiracy theory. One of my personal favorites is Earth flat. नहीं ये तो इसके बारे में तो बात करनी पड़ेगी. I will have to do it. I cannot not talk about this. Is Earth flat? If you're gonna agree with it, go for it. I am all for it.
As soon as you said is Earth flat, Shashank looked up and he's like, "Really? Are we gonna have this stupid discussion?"
Third stand where we had a moon ka, like Earth ka photo from the space. So I'm saying that it's not flat. It's kind of round.
How can you? How dare you come here? How dare you? I'm offended.
Hey man, okay, I honestly did believe the Earth was flat. Okay, I'm sorry. I watched hours of festive videos and sorry, don't think I'm really dumb.
That's the thing.
As a kid, I did not understand why the map is flat and why is this here and why the globe is this way. I'm sorry. I used to be dumb.
Well, you know that all the maps are wrong. If all the maps in rectangular shape, all the maps are wrong.
So how
so?
Only the globes are right.
Yeah, because you can't make a something like this into a flat thing. It changes the whole dimensions of the situation.
This is Miss Sunny. She studied geography for 2 years.
If you see currently the
no attacks, please. I was here to have proper add. Please, Josna, add in the guidelines. Kamya cannot attack a nation. Please, thank you. I would appreciate that. Oh God. But yeah. Go ahead.
If you see currently the projections of Google Maps, almost the size of Greenland, the one behind USA, Greenland, and the size of African whole continent is almost same, and that is very, very false. Really, you can check it now. But if you see in a globe version of Google Maps, you can see the difference. Like African continent itna bada hai aur Greenland itna chota hai.
Greenland mein bhi bahut baraf
all the maps that are projected in rectangular shapes are wrong. only the globe is right. So
I
I
just
think
feel like my whole life has been a lie because I used to get full marks in map work in SST ka exam. Okay.
So I failed in geography. Literally every geography test I'd either copy or fail. So
I'll
this
buy
is
a
why
globe
I
now.
now
Yeah.
yours is flat. So
Acha, I
That's
have a very
interesting.
bad
Yeah, go ahead.
question. It's related to okay, so this is a non-competitive event now, but the competitive event, will I get a certificate for participation?
Well,
yeah,
conspiracy theories, guys. Conspiracy
This is a
theories.
conspiracy theory.
Will
For the
will 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 Kamya get a certificate or not?
for
Is
participation in a competitive event.
yes, Kamya, you shall.
Hmm.
You shall.
Thank you, thank you. Now
But
this is all
okay,
done.
before I know we have to wrap up pretty soon. So I'll put forward my favorite conspiracy theory, my most loved conspiracy theory. Let's talk about Illuminati.
Oh,
the
I
new
thought that wasn't
order.
covered.
Yes, please, someone start. I want someone else to start this,
I'll
please.
start. Whoa, क्या कहते हैं? The introduction to Illuminati. What is this? I need something else. Okay,
Oh,
I'll start the introduction to Illuminati. So, from what I've read, again, is I start every sentence with this. I'm sorry.
it's all good.
So basically what was happening in the church with respect to the church, they were very much into god, and the group of scientists, when the scientific revolution happened, was that they basically were a bit away from the church ideals. They did not believe in god, they were atheists. They felt that science took precedence over that, so the church people started killing these science people, and in turn these science people formulated an Illuminati code, uh, wherein they wanted to become rich and powerful and overthrow the church or the stature of illusion, as which they called as god. So in modern times, Illuminati is now referred, a big institution who follows these same ideals, who wants to, like, you know governments can be considered Illuminati. Barack Obama was considered Illuminati. Everybody says this is the sign of Illuminati. So yeah, this is my take on it.
Okay, so do you believe they exist? And if they do exist, do you think they have the level of power that people give them?
I think they exist, and I think
Okay. And the power?
a lot of things go unexplained in the world. ये कैसे हुआ, ये कैसे हुआ, ये कैसे हुआ? I will blame them. And these are big corporations. Everything starts and ends with these big institutions, corporations, which actually bring the rules for us normal people to be, who have to follow that. Okay, so these are the biggest Uno reverse cards that we have in the world, coming back to China. And yeah, so I feel these institutions propagate so much power that anything which is influenced, like the world is influenced by, can be traced back to these places.
That is interesting. I feel like when you come to talk of Illuminati, the thing is, it's like you start with Illuminati and then you have like 50 other conspiracy theories that you have to go through. It's like you can't just read, you can't just say, oh, Illuminati है, ठीक है, चलो सो जाता है. You open Illuminati, है, like, ठीक है, ये इसका thesis पढ़ते, Dan Brown निकालो, Florence घूम के आओ. You have to do everything for that, which is very interesting. But I have a question. Okay, no, before I have a question, Shashank, give me your ideas on Illuminati. Illuminate me about Illuminati.
well, I don't believe in Illuminati, and I find all this stuffs a fake, really myth, and I don't find any true fact about it.
No, why do you think it's fake? Genuine question. Like, you think like it's all very over the top?
See, the one Kamya told about, that there was a conflict between church and science people. The science people formed France. अब फ्रांस कैसे स्टैब्लिश हुआ? एक तरीके से देखो, फ्रांस एक ऐसा नेशन है जो रिलीजन से पूरी तरीके से अलग है. एक टाइम हुआ करता था जब चर्च सब कुछ कंट्रोल करता था. हर एक नेशन के हर एक अथॉरिटी पूरी कंट्रोल चर्च करता था. लेकिन फ्रांस एक ऐसा देश बना जिनके कॉन्स्टिट्यूशन में रिलीजन बहुत ही दूर है उनसे. और जो अभी फिलहाल वो हुआ, सैमुअल पैटी का मर्डर हुआ, उन्होंने प्रॉफेट मोहम्मद के फोटोज दिखाए, फनी फोटोज दिखाए, तो उसको भी इमैनुअल मैक्रोन ने सपोर्ट किया. क्योंकि फ्रांस के ऐसे कॉन्स्टिट्यूशन में है कि रिलीजन से उनको बहुत दूर रहना है. तो मेरा तो यही मानना है कि साइंस के जो पीपल थे वो अभी भी है, लेकिन एक कोई इल्यूमिनाटी जैसा कोई चीज नहीं है.
You're saying like it's a lot, like it's not something that is as big of a deal as it's been made.
Yes.
Oh my, then I feel like um, when you come a topic like this, and again, I'm segueing back to my first point itself. After a point, a conspiracy theory branches out so much that you don't like. There, the first few people make sense, and uske it's like when you go to like when you see a fight, when you see a fight on the road. Now, like the first two people fighting, they make sense. कि ठीक है, तूने मेरा गाड़ी ठोका, क्यों ठोका? And then the other people who join in, and then it's no more about the car. Okay, it's about their personal issues. तुमने नहीं मुझे कल दूध नहीं दिया, तुमने मुझे चीनी नहीं दिया. This is completely changed conversation. Okay.
Yeah.
And that is where that happens the conspiracy theory. It started with like Illuminati, this two organizations are there. Science and religion have never gone hand in hand considering their very different beliefs. But then suddenly you're like, oh, Kanye West wore a shirt with a triangle on it, so now he's part of Illuminati.
Yeah, that's the thing.
फिर तो मैं भी Illuminati हूँ यार. Class 6 तक तो I was also struggling with those stupid triangle things because I didn't have a scale in class, in for the geometry class.
Matlab, Illuminati has become such, it's like a whole other world, right? People are living a secret life, and it's just, and there's also things like recruiting people for the Illuminati, and you get an email, and that if you're interested, and there's a website.
I have a question to ask. It's a little bit out there from the topic. If you were to go for an interview for Illuminati, what would your pitching statement be? What would your description of yourself be? I really want to know. Jyotsna, you're going to start this. I want to know. Then is Shashank, Kamya, Kanwar, you have to say it. Yeah, Jyotsna, go for it.
Interview for Illuminati.
Yes. Okay.
Oh.
Do you want me to get? I'll get into character for you. I'll be very serious.
Okay. I have some doubts.
Yes, please.
I don't know if
certificate.
No. Some even terrible. Not terrible, but okay. So 2 things. Do you think Illuminati, the Church of Scientology, and the Bermuda Triangle are related?
I know Bermuda Triangle is a hoax, okay, because I've studied this this is so, and this is the problem, okay, whenever I start having a conversation, now when the conversation is about to end, then all the interesting topics suddenly show up.
I came late, I'm sorry if you can explain.
Calm, stop selling the organs and focus on us for 2
got
minutes.
So distracted, you couldn't even
I think everyone will call me the organ girl now.
No. Okay, yeah, good question though. I personally think they're not related. That's my opinion. Shashank, Kanwar, what do you guys think?
मेरे को साइंटोलॉजी इतना समझता नहीं है. If anyone can explain it to me. I know that Tom Cruise is a idiot.
Okay, interesting.
Okay, go ahead, Shashank and Kanwar.
Those 3 topics you told about, they are very मतलब बहुत दूर है अपने से. I don't think they are very connected. They are out of the blue. What I would like to say.
Okay.
Even I don't think Bermuda Triangle and Illuminati is connected, but I believe in Illuminati that it exists and everything. And I feel they are trying to create this new world order where they are trying to convince more people to be a part of it and everything. So our generation specifically, they are trying to be a part of Illuminati and read about it and all. And they tell that a lot of pop stars, from pop culture people like maybe Rihanna and everyone, they are a part of
Illuminati. Said to be Illuminati.
Yeah.
A lot of them actually.
Snake Eyes.
Do you know Snake Eyes? Even Miley Cyrus. I have seen a video where it actually like there's a glitch in her eye where you can see like she turns into some snake eye or something like that. So all these things prove that Illuminati does exist and they are a part of it. And the reason why these big celebrities are part of it is because they have a big influence on people. So they can influence other people. So what Illuminati tries to do is that they tries to make such big pop culture people and try to make them a part of Illuminati so that other people, so that they create an influence of it, and they are just trying to create Illuminati's influence on the entire world. So that's their thing actually. It's going to take time, but it will happen, I believe.
Talking about, I don't know if you guys know about this, but there is this theory that a lot of celebrities sell their souls to the devil to become famous.
Yes, I know it.
Again, Shashank just looked down with the most
disappointed
face, like, I can't believe we're having this discussion.
This is so nice because, what Jyotsna just now said reminded me of some church in, I forgot its name. They basically are a cult and they hate on everything, some sort of, greed. And I feel these kind of rules were actually made so that, people don't go off to the deep end of, the sins, like, too much greed, too much gluttony is also considered a sin. I don't know why, but yeah. Uh, but yeah, these, smaller sins. But at the end of these rules, it becomes too regressive that people lose their minds and eventually become more evil than they wanted to be.
Well, you think if you think rationally,
Hmm.
uh, the one that Josna talked about selling the souls and
You just put
that
my entire point out of the. You think rationally. That's all. I got it, bro. I know.
Shashank, I have realized, is a practical person. Is a
Very-
Dude, he's so
practical
practical. So
uh,
practical.
Bye,
Dude.
Khushbu.
Bye bye.
Bye, Kushbu. Nice having you here.
Acha, let us please meet in college and have some sort of club. Please, I am begging
No,
you.
wait.
No,
Thinking
Kamya
rationally.
wants.
Wait.
Let us think rationally, Kamya. What's wrong
Yes.
with you? Yes. Okay. Yes. Thinking
if
rationally.
you
Go ahead.
yes. So about the Illuminati, that uh, how I don't understand how they can give some powers to some peoples. Like this is a lot बहुत ही अलग है. एक स्पिरिचुअल पावर होती है, चलो वो मानने के लिए तैयार हूं मैं. स्पिरिचुअल पावर होती है, जैसे existence of God. You can deny or you cannot, but I believe that existence of God is true. तो एक स्पिरिचुअल पावर है, लेकिन उस पावर को अनलॉक करने के लिए भी so I cannot believe that.
Like human power bhi hai, I think I would call it the money power, because money speaks a lot. Okay, I mean, we might not understand the influence yet. I still don't. But if I think about, people who earn in probably billions, people who earn in millions, they have the ability to change the world, but they do so in different ways, in ways that benefit them, and I cannot really blame them. To a certain extent, it is their money. But when I think of from an economic perspective, they have basically used up the resources of, you know the workers, or the, factors of production who they owe to, and they in turn don't end up giving it to someone. So I don't know, I hopefully think that if there is a god, there should be some sort of, karma ruling, or some sort of ultimate end to, suffering in medium terms. But I a lot of authors say that, suffering is like a part of life and everything, but and then they want a beautiful life. So
Thank you, Kamya, for saying that. Now I can tell my parents that I'm suffering. I'm having a great life. Thanks for.
so exactly, the greatness of suffering, I think.
But don't tell this to my parents, okay? They'll just like start smacking me at this point. Please don't give such ideas.
My father just came in and gave me a look and like, what am I talking? इसको ज्ञान दे रही हूँ आज मैं, पता नहीं.
Oh my god, but that's very interesting. I agree. Like that is also, it again segues into a completely different kind of, thought process of, suffering and living, and it's a very existential topic, honestly. But yeah, I feel like, let's to wrap up the whole thing, I would say, like, conspiracy theories itself, it's like, you look at something like this and you're like, oh, it's funny, it's stupid, I could name like multiple. The whole lizard people thing, if I get into that, I'm just like, I could go on a rant for like 5 days. I could become one of those Instagram celebrities who just doesn't shut up about anything.
If I see a turtle, I'll think Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle. That is all what I'll think.
Kamya's knowledge is so, I love a variety of knowledge. Like Shashank is like all rational. Kanwar is having, Kanwar is like such nice,
Though she has like a chaotic telling
energy.
organs this,
I
that.
honestly, okay, just like things aside, I just feel like this was the most out of, I did 3 events roughly. So I was in Jam this morning, and Jam I did not understand anything, but I loved, because I think I laughed the most in that event. But this event made me like, kind of open up a bit more, because I am a very, as Anishi said, that I have a chaotic mind, and
I said that.
it's good to not be judged on that,
Just let me take the credits. Thank you.
No, I said it.
Admin mute Josna.
Both
please.
of
Thank
you, both of you.
No,
I
I
will meet you in
said
college,
it.
and I will hug you in person. Anarchy
I
I've
feel
known from like a while now, but I will meet you both, all of you, even
no,
Shashank and Kanwar.
I feel like in this discussion, I could really find out you as people. Like, Kanwar had such great ideas and thoughts about stuff. Like, he was the one who started the discussion. I'm so glad he did. Shashank is the most rational guy ever. Like honestly, my dad and Shashank, great match. My
If I
mom and
want,
Shashank,
honest
no.
life advice, I'll go to Shashank, I think.
Yeah, dude.
I'll
Yeah.
go to him.
I love how he
Shash-
so calmly listens to you and he's like,
This is stupid.
you're stupid.
Yeah.
Stupid.
Thinking
You are
This
wrong.
is,
rationally.
he's one of those people, he just like listens to you like, okay, oh, this happened. Okay, you're dumb. Listen to me. Okay, you're like really dumb. But like this, I think this discussion really opened us up to like, because I have heard things I've never really thought about before, which is like what every discussion like should do. Like if you have a discussion and you are
Exactly.
at the end of it, day, oh, I learned something. There's something that I have never thought about, even about the things that you know about, which is just like really insanely incredible.
Fun
And I'm
fact, the
so glad.
organ thing, I was unable to admit it to anyone else from what I'd researched. So I'm glad that I told you guys.
So I am so glad that you found this to be
Book Nook
admitted.
has actually become a therapy session. Now we're just like, hi, and calm and say, hi, I'm organ seller. Just
I
very
sell
sweet.
organs as a
Organs.
hobby.
Kidney,
Shashank
kidney.
Shashank is just rolling his eyes. She's like, क्या करा रही है ये?
Shashank is like, earth is flat. फिर यहाँ मतलब मैं किधर पहुँच गया हूँ? I have
What did I
never
sign up for?
No, but I really enjoyed you guys. I think that opened me a bit, a lot. I think.
I'm glad.
So
I'm glad
glad.
because
I'm really
I honestly
glad.
don't talk a lot to my own classmates because I feel out of place a lot of times.
Achha,
But
you're the
Same,
lizard
same.
people. Okay.
Yeah,
Kamya is the
exactly.
lizard person.
I mean,
Got
I
it.
am
stress
the
organs, what do you expect?
Spider-Man 2 का lizard.
Yeah,
One या two
very
जो भी था.
very specific for you to say that. I'm Spider-Man 2 का lizard.
Spider-Man
Um,
1 था शायद.
Two
One
का.
था. One second में Electrode था. Amazing Spider-Man.
Very nice. Kamya showing all her knowledge from NRC to Spider-Man to Dark Web. Kamya has bunch of knowledge about everything and nothing at the same time.
No, but like I love how, see, as Aneshi said in the start, this is one topic that we could have hours of discussion over, right? And I feel like the point of conspiracy theories is to not know the definite answer, and like by the end of it, even after we discuss so much, it's not like I'm still dying to know what happens next, or I just it's just theories, and you just have a good time discussing it, and you are okay with not knowing if it's true or not, because it's just like human interest. And I find that so fascinating that, I mean, I'm going to go a bit deep, but like humans have this tendency to know everything, but this is something that we are okay with not knowing.
I mean,
No,
if
no.
I were Sheldon Cooper, I would go crazy if I didn't know what Illuminati was and if I didn't know what root causes were. But yeah.
No,
I'm fine.
Josna, let's be rational. Okay, let's just be rational for 2 seconds. But no, I love how I think this is one of the few topics in which people can get really heated because like people will invariably differ with you. Conspiracy, you can't agree on conspiracy theories. You just can't. Even if you're on the same side, you can't agree. I'm sorry. It just doesn't work.
Logic on so many, like I believe, for example, moon landing. And Kurma was like, I think it's not fake. And I'm like, oh, okay. And then he gave his point, and I was like,
Yeah, it
has
makes
my
you
life
think.
been a lie? Like, my beliefs started wrong.
But like it's just really like it's really cool that we actually had this thing, and unfortunately Josna, do you want to do the honors of doing the
Oh my
sad
God.
part?
Okay, just before that.
Oh, come here.
Yeah, you get your certificate, Kamya. Oh my God.
Shashank and Kanwar, which college are you from?
Okay.
KC. I'm from KC College.
Both of you are KC? Okay, I will meet you both as well.
No, I am from KJ Sumai College.
Oh, KJ Sumai. What do you study?
I'm BA Political Science.
Oh, bhai.
Oh, very nice.
तो बड़े
Kanwar,
लोग
what
हैं।
about you?
You're in
Kanwar?
BA Political Science, first year?
Second year.
Oh, अच्छा, second year.
Big
My friend
brain.
is studying in first year BA Political.
Kanwar, what about you?
BMS, KC College.
Dude, that is so cool. There's so much variety here. I really like that. I really appreciate that. All the conspiracy theories from everyone. I love it.
I loved it.
But okay, yeah, go ahead, Josna, do the sad part.
No, I hate
अच्छा, we
the
can
fame.
wait 9 minutes or 7 minutes or na?
Oh,
Kamya wants to
Kamya is like till the last second, I will make use of
3:30
this
को end
book
करो ना.
to release all of it.
Yes. Okay, we are not gonna end. Kamya,
Okay,
you.
We still have one more theory to go. कोई और बताओ तुम लोग?
Oh wait, there has to be. Oh, I want to talk about this one. I want to talk about Area 51. It's all America. I
मुझे
swear to
समझा
God.
नहीं Area 51 ज़्यादा.
Basically,
Area 51 is
एरिया 51 एक सीक्रेट मिलिट्री बेस है जिसके आसपास भी कोई और आ नहीं सकता, बस इतना है.
Oh.
हाँ,
Do you
and
remember-
people's logic is that see, whenever you see something जिसके आसपास कोई नहीं आ सकता, what do you think? You know, aliens. Aliens
Yeah.
there. Yeah. You know, you see that bank में तिजोरी, you're like, I can't go near that. You're like, oh yeah, aliens are in there, obviously.
जाएंगे.
So do you think aliens are real?
Of course they are real.
They have.
For someone else, we are aliens. ठीक है? So I don't mind.
I mean,
I
it's impossible for us to exist and not have anybody else there.
I have a very simple logic about this. I think aliens exist, but the way we portray it, it's not like that.
Yeah, I agree.
जादू.
हाँ,
That's all
yeah.
little far.
You know,
बड़ी बड़ी आंखें होंगी, कोई और कलर का स्किन होगा वगैरह कुछ.
Om. Sorry.
you know that aliens etymology came from what? What we define aliens? Like, something what humans don't know is alien.
Yeah,
Ah.
makes sense.
Exactly.
Yeah, so it could literally be like they could be like very normal stuff, but we are just like, oh, they're different from us because they're not near us in like physiological definition.
I think aliens must look at us and see what ridiculous people these are.
Why
Imagine they looked at this thing and they're like, oh my god, there's this girl selling organs, there's this guy thinking rationally.
And they all are on a Zoom call talking for 2 hours about us.
No, technically speaking, aliens can't. अगर कोई फार अवे गैलेक्सी से तो वो हम लोग को देख नहीं सकते अभी. वो डायनासोर्स को देख रहे होंगे.
Nice. That's yeah, because light years makes sense. Yeah,
Light
because
years.
light years travels differently. Because what they see is going to be very behind what we are right
Do
now.
you all believe in evolution?
Evolution.
Do you all believe in it or not?
When I see some people, no, because I'm like, wow, this is just sad. And when I see other people, I'm like, yes, they have excelled in life, so evolution exists. But I think evolution exists. It has.
So too. But yeah,
एक सिंपल पॉइंट है, सोचो इवोल्यूशन में
you're lagging a bit.
जा रहा है.
You are lagging a bit,
Now it's
Shashank.
okay?
Can you repeat?
Yeah.
ओके, सो एवोल्यूशन में एक सिंपल एग्जांपल देता हूँ आपको कि अभी काम्या ने चश्मा नहीं पहना है, कन्वर ने चश्मा नहीं पहना है, लेकिन मुझे भी अभी रिसेंटली चश्मा लगा है और ये एवोल्यूशन हो रही है धीरे धीरे सबको चश्मा लग रहा है. इट्स पार्ट ऑफ एन इवोल्यूशन. लाइक यू सी योर फिंगरनेल्स
Because of her screen time. You're being like my mom.
हाँ.
I don't know.
Bro, Shashank is too practical for my existence, okay?
I like his example.
I love it.
No, but
Yeah,
it
the whole-
makes sense, right?
it makes
Evolution
sense, yeah.
exists in terms of like you adapting to new environments, and
yes.
you like, so for example, Corona, right? That's an evolution in itself, I think, because we were so used to. Now, when I watch us in movies where people are like sitting in a bus and doing, I'm like, why are you not wearing a mask? That is so weird to me. And it's the basic things. It's just adapting to new environments. I think that's all.
Agreed.
I like how the film industry is actively ignoring Corona in their films.
Yeah. So much. I'm like, bro, they just touched a freaking college locker. Can they sanitize their hands or something? What are you doing?
Yeah, that only. But yeah, that is, I think, pretty much sums up. I think we summed up a lot of stuff. We summed up the stupid ones, we summed up the smart ones, we summed up the philosophical ones, and the practical ones, and the organ ones, and the rational ones, and the USA ones, and the Chinese ones. I think we've covered pretty well. We've even covered India. I mean, come on.
I'm very proud of all of us.
I'm so proud.
Yes. I'm so proud of this community.
I'm patting myself on the back for today. I'm great. Yes. Yay! Now, Jyotsna, I can go ahead and do the sad part.
Thank you for extending it for 5 minutes.
Oh yeah, no problem.
Yes, Jyotsna, go ahead.
You will not get a certificate for that though. I'm kidding. I'm not at liberty to say that. Anyway, yeah, I mean, I loved having this discussion, and I don't want to say it, but this has come to an end. And Book Nook, day 3 of Book Nook, all 3 days of Book Nook, it's done. You can cry later.
And send us the videos. Thank you.
Yeah, and tag us on Instagram.
Tag us on Instagram. Yeah, please. We need the clout. Me and Jyotsna need the
Instagram
clout.
actually shut down. I think Modi ji disabled it.
Great conspiracy theory. And the next episode of
My
conspiracy
account is
theories.
public now, so I don't know what post I read that they
Excellent.
disabled it.
Great. Kamya has left us again with a sprinkle of information that we get to know.
Like
Yeah.
like I said before, I hope you guys had found this to be like a platform to essay discuss your opinions freely and having
Yes.
absolutely no judgment. And yeah, I
I'm
just hope
so
you guys
glad.
had fun. And
Can we give closing statement?
Yes,
oh yeah,
please
go
go
ahead.
ahead. Please go
Okay,
ahead.
so Kani, a friend of mine told me to, go in. He said that I really want you to register, and I saw the events, and I was like, wow, you had like great set of events. Probably I actually signed up for 4. I could not attend yesterday's second like day 2 book nook because I was out, and in the morning I had another lecture of like the certification exam, so I couldn't enter do trivia, but I really wanted to do that. But I participated in the others and I've enjoyed so much. And
Thank you
yeah,
so much.
your whole, I think, even the way you've presented it to us, the way you've conducted, I loved it. So thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. No, that means so much to us. That actually means so much.
what I heard about Kani is that when जब भी ऑफलाइन होता है ना, एक बहुत ही पीसफुल ग्रेसफुल इन्वायरमेंट रहता है और वहाँ पे बात करने का अलग मजा रहता है, एक रिलैक्सेशन रहती है. लेकिन इस साल भले ही ऑनलाइन है, लेकिन I almost got that feeling.
Oh my God, that is the highest compliment. Honestly,
that is
I'm
so
so glad. I'm so glad, honestly.
That's a rational compliment to you. I love
There's
it.
rational compliment. Yes, it's a rational
even though you
compliment.
guys are stupid, but I felt nice. So it's okay.
I'm actually like
Jyotsna is calling us
of-
stupid now.
No,
Jyotsna is bad cop, good cop. You
No,
know, Jyotsna is a
guys,
bad cop. She's
we
like,
love
you're
her.
stupid. And I'm just like, no, guys, I love you all. But yeah, thank you so much for coming. I hope you had as much fun as me and Jyotsna did hosting the event. I am honestly, I didn't even feel like a host. I felt like a participant. I felt like a part of the thing. So I'm so glad. And hopefully we'll meet each other offline soon. Hopefully it's not a biological warfare. And let's get this out and let's meet. So have a great day, everyone. And please
Thank you
come
so
back.
much.
So we hope to see you soon. Okay, take care, guys.
Bye bye, everyone.
Bye.